Welcome to Breaking Waves, Shane. Thank you so much for coming onto our show. We really appreciate your presence here. I'm absolutely honored to interview you. I've seen a few of your podcasts and absolutely love your spirit and drive as an entrepreneur. I love to interview entrepreneurs on this show. They're one of my favorite people to interview because they're interesting characters.
Yeah.
Survivors. The ultimate survivors. How are you this afternoon? How's your day been?
Fantastic. Busy, but fantastic.
Yeah. What does your day look like today?
Gym. First thing in the morning, I always go to the gym. Cardio, I lift weights. I went to one of my stores this morning. I had a meeting scheduled this morning while I was working there with a big brand actually, and they actually counted on me. But so we had to reschedule that. I was a bit upset, but kept moving. I did a shift, back to the gym. I went and get a haircut for this thing.
Yeah.
And then I went home, spent some time with Mum, and we just talked about business, about plans, about the future, and here I am today.
Love that. Well, thank you so much for being with us today. Let's get into it. So you are a child of an immigrant.
Correct.
Tell us a bit about that.
Being an immigrant, aren't we all immigrants?
We are all immigrants.
In Aotearoa,
Yes.
everyone is an immigrant at some point, right?
Yep.
It's been a fantastic opportunity my parents, they moved there first, so it's a fantastic opportunity that they've given me to come to New Zealand to pursue anything I want to be. Very lucky. I come from China. China used to be a communist society. Your dreams, the word dream is a foreign word. No one has dreams as such, right?
Right.
So yeah, that's my childhood. That's where things are at.
Yeah. Tell us a bit about your parents.
My mum and dad met on a strawberry farm. When I say mum and dad, it's my mum and my stepfather. So I came to New Zealand with my biological father at 2 years old on a plane, and he handed me over to my mum and my stepfather immediately. So they had already split. And growing up, a lot of strawberries when they were working on the farm. And then they opened a little lunch bar in Patumaka. And that is what my parents did for a lot of their lives. My mum and dad are very conservative, are very hard on me, and they've sacrificed a lot to take our family to where we are today. They've really done the best they can with all that they know, and yeah.
Awesome. And I think a lot of us can relate to that. You know, our parents migrating here for better opportunities, to train their kids to work hard so that they thrive in a society that offers those opportunities. So that's really awesome. Tell us a bit about Chinese culture. What do you love about it and what do you hate about it?
Chinese culture. I don't have very much I hate about my culture specifically. I'm 100% Chinese. Right? I'm going to say only good things about my culture. I love, I guess, how close-knit and tight we are, how strong family morals are, how hardworking I think Chinese people are, how resilient. And beyond resilience, there's no victim mentality. You know, like everything's very positive as such. They may not express it very well verbally, but I think you must have a level of gratitude to just work so hard, right? You have to appreciate things to work that hard, right? So I'm only going to say good things about Chinese people.
Yeah, that's awesome. And a little bit of a side quest, but my first experience with Chinese culture, I was about 15. And my uncle, who lives in Samoa, was doing business with Chinese people.
Yeah.
Best experience of my life.
Really?
They owned a mansion here in New Zealand, right? I'm like a 16-year-old kid, born and raised in Mangere.
Yeah.
Broke, raised broke, but my uncle came here for business. And we went to their house, massive mansion. The hospitality was on. And I will never forget that, because that experience changed my life. And especially, you know, being raised up in state houses and then going into a culture, greeted at the door, able to use whatever car they wanted us to use. They hired private chefs to cook for us and their family, and everything was taken care of.
Yeah.
And I looked up to that so much. And it's something that I like that we have in common with Chinese people, is taking care of others and respect when it comes to doing business deals. Because I don't know what's your experience like with New Zealand business culture? Because in certain cultures, hospitality is like key. You've got to know them on a personal level. We've got to share a drink together before we even think about dealing in money. What's been your experience?
In New Zealand?
Yeah.
It's mostly been with males, first of all. First of all, it's mostly been with males. There's a level of respect. There must be some type of exchange of respect, right? I feel like real recognizes real. I typically don't do business with people I don't like.
Yeah.
I never do business with people I don't like. I have to kind of respect you and like you. I haven't done a lot of business with Chinese people. I really haven't. Pakia, white, Palangi, males. The experience has actually been quite good. Could it go wrong? Yeah, potentially. But I've stood my ground.
Yeah.
It's been good actually. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Do you have your own way of like weighing people out when you're deciding to deal with someone like, it's like, once I know them at this level? Do you have like a checkbox or a checklist of things that you need to look at before you decide to do business with someone?
Typically, when you respect someone, right,
Yeah.
you're going to respect them and you're going to think they're intelligent, right? Most intelligent people are not going to shaft you. It's not a good play. It's not a good move. Being dodgy, I don't think that's a good move.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
So if I respect someone, I can feel that they're secure. There's enough self-love. They're intelligent enough. Then I can measure them based on ability. Could they still play up here and there? I guess we're all human, but those are odds that I can play with. So those are my things. So I will gauge someone and kind of feel out like how big are your balls, like let's see, and yeah.
That's awesome. You seem like someone who's come through a lot, and I can just tell that based off your energy.
Yeah.
And how you view things, how you remain very strictly optimistic.
Yeah.
And in the economic environment we are now, that's a good quality to have. So you've probably gone through a lot of tough times. What was the hardest thing you've been through in life that has shaped you to who you are now?
I've said this on so many podcasts. I've been through a period of being blind.
Yeah.
Hopelessness, absolute hopelessness. Blind in both eyes, can't see at all, very painful. So that's number one. I don't think no one can relate to this because no one's experienced isolation to that level of, when you can't see for 9 months, that kind of isolation it drives you nuts.
Right.
That's painful. I've been broke multiple times. Not just broke with no money and like millions in debt. Right. So so there's quite a few times where I've been low. Yeah. But in New Zealand, how low can you get, right? Because no matter what happens, I hate to say it, but you can declare bankrupt, right? And you can, like, there's government support, there's all these funds,
right.
and like, it's a good country we live in. It's a very good country we live in. We're all very privileged, I think. Yeah.
I noticed in the other podcast you mentioned personal development is the most important thing to you over financial success, business success, or productivity. Why is it important to you?
I started to connect the dots, right, with I've been able to meet some hyper successful people in my life, like super successful, not just financially or with business, but just people I really look up to, like high achievers, and it's more than just business and money. And I noticed some of the trends were how they all had a good relationship with developing themselves. Over there, PB Technologies, Pat, well, he's my uncle, right? And the biggest difference between him and my mum and dad, I could tell, right, was that, 20, 30 years ago, he had picked up somehow this personal development. And when my parents, maybe by luck or by whatever, didn't quite figure it out, but he did. And he held on to it. And I saw how that transformed his life. I can hand on heart say that is the number one thing that, from just Pat, my experience with him, that's what brought him to build PB Technologies, the largest like computer software hardware business in New Zealand. The only Chinese billionaire in this, like made in New Zealand, right?
That's crazy.
In one generation. And he's not like overly intelligent, whatever, but he's super positive.
Yeah.
And he figured it out really early. I'll just be hard on himself.
Yeah.
Strip himself, you know, from all that garbage and be like, yo, like, these are my flaws. Let's work on that. Yeah.
Yeah. See, and I think like for people who aren't in business and who aren't in entrepreneurship, when they hear that, they're like, nah, you're full of crap. Like, you're there for the money. Like, you know what I mean? Like, nah, you care about the money. You're just making it sound like that. And it's a hard concept to understand. And I find that with all business owners that I talk to, they're really big on personal development. They're like, money's good, but it's just kind of like a benefit or like a perk when you work really hard on yourself. And I find that pretty an admirable quality in entrepreneurs, is that it's kind of like, yes, we care about it, but at the same time, it's like a blossoming of personal development. Would you say?
Once you understand money, once you understand how to find and construct systems, once you understand this game, it is pretty hard not to have it. I could get a job at JB Hi-Fi tomorrow, and within 6 months, I'd be national sales manager, right? I just know. It'd be so easy, right? I could just go on the floor. I'd be the best salesman, like, immediately almost, right? And yeah, and they'd be pretty stupid not to, like, keep pulling me up the ranks, right? So once you understand that, and there's a deeper level there, it's like money management, financial literacy. Once you understand how this game works, that's what makes money not as important.
What do you think are some of those key understandings?
Remember, you must have read Rich Dad Poor Dad, right?
Sorry?
Rich Dad Poor Dad. Have you read that book?
Yes, I read. Yeah.
I read that when I was young. To be honest, I thought I learned stuff, but I didn't learn shit. And then I read it in my 20s, and I thought I learned things, I didn't learn shit. And now that I haven't read it in a long time, but I think back to some of those concepts, and I'm starting to understand it more. Wealth, money, these things. It is generational. Not even how we think in terms of passing down the money. It's passing down the mindset, the culture. It's within us. Yeah. Once you truly understand it, and your kids grow up in it, they're gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. With or without money. Yeah.
Yeah. Robert Kiyosaki, that's his name, eh?
Yeah, Robert.
Yeah, he goes into a lot about that, having that rich dad and that poor dad mentality, and not doing things for money, and having that drive. It's bigger. It's what you're serving, I guess. But yeah, read that book, guys. It's a good book. But yeah, I didn't read that one. I haven't read that one in a while. But when I first read it, I found it good. Like the contrast of perspectives was good to look at, especially if you're raised in one of those perspectives. Even if you're from a wealthy background, it's beneficial to you as well. You talk a lot about emotional intelligence, and also maturity and being vulnerable.
Yes.
Being important quality. You see, a lot of people, they cringe when they see someone who's like, ooh, why are you sharing like very vulnerable things? You know what I mean?
Really? People cringe to that?
Yeah. Like, I mean, your podcast on Mandate, like the lady was expressing, you don't just go out and say things to people, like share your traumas or your past. But you seem to be very comfortable with it. And I'm not saying I cringe at it. I don't cringe at it. I'm okay with people being vulnerable. But why do you think it's important to be vulnerable? Is there a strength in it? Why are you vulnerable?
I don't particularly think about being vulnerable.
Yeah.
I don't particularly think at all about anything external of me. I'm going to do what I want, express how I feel. If I feel good, fantastic. If I don't feel good, I don't feel good. I'm not going to change who I am based on external factors. I don't take anything personally. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because like if someone cringed, sweet, man.
Yeah.
Good for you, kapai.
Yeah.
If someone's like, oh man, awesome, thank you for sharing. Thank you, I appreciate it. nothing external is going to affect how I want to live and how I want to be.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't think about it.
I totally understand that. I get where you're coming from. Like, you're not looking for validation, but I think for a lot of people, they do look for validation. And they often wonder how people like you are okay with it and how you got to that stage in the first place. And maybe it's something you've actually just personally developed and overlooked, but it's actually a quality that people admire and want to become. They just won't admit it. So do you ever think about how you got to that point in the first place? Or is it kind of just like, that's my growth?
Well, it goes back to that personal development stuff, right?
Right.
Like I'm so hard on myself. I'm constantly calling myself out, and I'm always looking at myself critically. I'm always looking within intrinsically. I've never looked without externally, right? So because I always look within, whether something good happens, whether something bad happens, I always think, either what did I contribute to produce this outcome? B, how can I do it better? What are the other options? Is that a lot of thinking? It's a lot of thinking.
Yeah.
There's a lot of thinking.
Yeah.
Is that a bit sociopathic? Possibly. And that's what's led me to become like who I am. Like even like they're talking about my tattoos and stuff, and like I'm so hard on myself, like, and I sometimes people say, oh, look at your tattoos, they're so artistic, and even a comment like that I'll take home and I'll internalize it, and I'll think, oh, why did I get all those fucking tattoos? And the truth is, when I was young, I got all those tattoos because I was weak and I was soft and insecure, and I'm still insecure today. Lots of things I'm insecure about. Yeah. Probably more secure than the average person, but to my standards, I'm still insecure. And so I call these things out, right? And I'm happy with disclosing my weaknesses and my insecurities. And that's what's kind of like snowballed and made me more confident. Because you take power away from it, right? Once you speak about it, right?
Right. And no one can use it against you.
Well, you can try. You can try.
No one can try and come up with you like with your own weaknesses because you've already mastered it within yourself. That's amazing. I like that. The optimistic spirit you have is like bizarre, right? Because that's a necessary skill. It's the one skill you need in entrepreneurship. It's the ability to remain optimistic. And you've mentioned that, you have business partners who have been negative or haven't seen the light sometimes at some stages. How do you manage being around those energies and keeping that, optimism?
It's not just business partners. Like, even like, it could be my parents. It could be my brother. It could be my sister. Everyone's got ups and downs. I still have ups and downs. No one just sees it. But dude, I feel it. Sometimes I'm fucking furious. Because all I fucking do is give. Help. Truth is, all everyone ever does is take. But then I go back to what I was speaking about before, and it's like, am I gonna let external factors change who I am? No,
Yes.
no, I can't. Right, I gotta be the boss here. I'm the fucking man, right? I am the guy at the top. I'm not gonna let any of you guys affect who I am. So then I come down a little bit and I continue. I think, what is the end result I'm trying to create here? Work backwards. How do I need to make everybody feel? What do I have to do to make them feel that way?
Optimum control of the
I lose my shit all the time. I lose my shit all the time.
Yeah.
I do.
What does that look like? Just being a bit nosy.
Fuck, I sometimes I just like fucking have a scream or have a cry. Like the amount of times I've gone home, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock at night, run the shower, and I just stand in the shower, I'm fucking butt naked, and I'm just crying. It's not that I'm sad. I'm not sad. I'm just like, fuck, man, this is hard. Like, I've been up from like 7 a.m. in the morning. It's like fucking 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock in the morning. I've gone gung-ho all day. And I just shower on. And I'm just fucking tears rolling down my face. But I'm not sad. I'm really not sad. It's just, oh fuck, just heavy, you know?
Yeah.
Just let it all out. Finish my shower, fucking dry myself, fucking keep going.
Yeah. Love that. Letting it flow through instead of creating blockages, because it'll come out in another way, right?
I've lost my shit with people too.
I was going to say, do you scream at your staff members?
In the last couple of months, it's not the staff. I've had people push me publicly, rude.
Right.
Well, I'm just delivering dumplings, just like, I don't know, other blue collars and stuff. And there's one incident I snapped at.
You know, there's a lot of criticism that comes with entrepreneurs, and I've noticed that people think it's a switch on and off thing. You know, like, when does the hustle turn on and when does the hustle turn off? And there's a lot of perceptions. It's toxic. You're working too much. What about your well-being? Maybe you're so traumatized because you don't realize that you're just surviving through all of this. What's your response to that?
Nice, bro. Just nice, bro.
Yeah.
I've given up on trying to change people's perceptions of, be it me, be it the world, be it business, be it whatever it may be. Maybe because I'm coming to that age where if someone's gonna come and project themselves onto me, I am not gonna like give back and help them and convince them and set their mind straight. Like I've got so many things going on. I'm like, thank you, my bro. Like, yeah, and just keep moving. You know, because once upon a time when we were young, we had to validate ourselves, right? We're like, oh, nah, but you know, and just go fucking 30 minutes into a conversation with someone you don't even know, right? Now I'm like, yeah, man, sweet as, bro. I don't take it personally.
Do your thing and I'll do my thing. I love that. No response is a response. And it's kind of giving. You're very big on managing your energy and where it goes to in every single interaction. Do you find yourself doing that?
It's something I've gotten better at. Something I've gotten better at. And you have to train yourself, right? Yeah. You only have so much energy in a day, how many hours in a day, right? And when you set these goals and these big dreams, and then you look at the resource, which is your time and your energy, right? Then you got to really be strategic about it, right? And you got to move, right? And you do have to prioritize your own moves over other people's projections, other people's agendas.
I love that. I feel like I'm interviewing Bruce Lee.
You bring a very different side of me, you know. You bring a very intense part of me, where it's just like
But you're so calm about it.
I'm very intense. You bring out a different. This is awesome. This is really good. You know? This is definitely a different version of me. I've never been this person on camera. Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I did it here first, guys. When he blows up, I did it here first. Yeah. I like the way you've responded to this, because it's really revealing your character, and it's I'm big on self-development as well, and personal development. Yeah. I've read tons of books and I love it. Yeah. Podcasts as well. Yeah. And a lot of them that I really enjoy is all about inner work. What I've struggled with is managing outside projections, because it's not easy, but I'm getting better at it. You know, I come across different people every day who are like constantly projecting what they think, and I always have this problem, like I find myself 20 minutes after, why am I still thinking about it? You know, how do I let this thought go of this interaction that I've had with person A?
Can I correct you?
Yes, that's what I was going to ask you.
It's ego.
Yeah? In what way?
You think it's about you.
Yeah.
It's not. Don't take anything personally.
That's it.
It's not about you. They don't care about you. What they're doing is they're just projecting themselves onto you. And now you've made it, oh man, this is something I did, or that, or can I change this, change that? This is just you. Yeah. It had nothing to do with you to begin with. Yeah. And you've just soaked that all up and trying to make it relatable to you.
Yes.
It's got nothing to do with you.
Yeah. And I love that. I love that you're like that.
It's got nothing to do with you, yeah.
Because that's my problem, and that's what I work on. You know, everyone has different things that they're working on. And what I'm working on is trying not to take things personally.
Correct.
And in that, I know the solution is to work on myself, to be confident in who I am and what I stand for.
Correct.
Of course, work in progress. Yeah.
With me saying that, you do seem a lot younger than me. You're very ahead for, I'm not going to ask your age. I can already tell you're quite a bit younger than me. You're already very ahead. You're thinking about these things. When I was 25, I didn't think shit.
He thinks I'm 25.
But you know what I mean? I was 26,
of course.
I didn't think shit. So you're already very ahead. The fact that you're like, oh man, like why am I soaking this stuff in?
Yeah.
The fact that you're aware of that, it's just a matter of time before you figure it out. You don't even need to think about figuring it out. Just let it be.
Yeah.
Forget about it. You'll figure it out. Just let it be.
Absolutely. And also brain pattern. Because my brain's so used to thinking that way. When I catch myself and thought like, why the fuck are you worried about what this person said?
That's enough.
Okay, I'm talking about it too much. Cut off? Okay, sweet.
More you think about it, it's the thing. Yeah.
That was, what is it? Self-progress in action. Live. I love that. Okay, we're reading of the thought. On to our next question. We're going to dive into a bit of politics.
Oh, shit.
And it's funny that you say you're a part of the National Party, because so was I. And I was part of the Pacific Blues. I had which is the Pacific part of National. I was there for 3 years, holding signs, National Party.
Wow.
At the Mangere Lights where people were like, boo, you suck. And I'm like, yeah, hard work.
Yeah.
So I was that person. Yeah. And I believed in the party. I believed in the values of the party. I was very young. I was 22, 23. Yeah. And I did so much work for free. Yeah. But I was very driven. I know I'm just someone, if there's a wider purpose. And at that time, I somehow conceptualized in my brain, this is a great purpose to work for. Let's do it. And you've shared your experience with the National Party as well. Many small businesses are facing a lot of issues right now due to the recession and just the economic environment. In your, political mindset, what do you think are some things that the government can directly do to help small businesses?
Fuck, that's a big question. I need to really think about it before I give you an answer, because I always answer. I want to give a good answer, so I'm going to answer I don't know.
Okay.
But I can say a few things when it comes to business, politics, and money, if that's what you're asking. Is that what you want me to drive me into? Just money, wealth, politics.
How do you think there's anything the government can directly do now to actually help with the problems you feel small businesses are experiencing, whether that be, I don't know, policies or pouring money into incentives to help businesses grow? I don't know.
I wish I could give you an answer.
Yeah.
The only things I see with the government, I tell you what, let's talk about some positive things.
Okay.
Petrol has fucking come down. Take it. No matter what anyone says about any party, petrol has come down. Last week, right?
Yeah.
Take it. Fuck it. Right? For us, living in New Zealand right now, if petrol can come down 10, 20 cents, fuck it, maybe 30 cents one day, yes. Take it. Whatever party, right? What else? If GST could be written off for fruits, vegetables, produce, yes, another
That'll
one.
be mean.
Just one step at a time. Fuck it. Fuck the business, how it can help businesses. Just make things a bit better for the average person.
Right.
Our milk in New Zealand milk costs more in New Zealand than it does in Australia. Bro. What the fuck? It's moved another country. Shit.
Yeah.
So
kind of appreciating the small ones that we're getting. Yeah. Moving with it.
Yeah, let's just take some of the small things first, man.
Yep.
Petrol's gone down. Big smile. Economy's not great right now. Take it.
Yep.
It's been a rather dry winter.
Yeah.
It hasn't rained that much. It's raining right now. It hasn't rained that much though, right? Let's take that. Yeah. Take that. Yeah.
Awesome. And besides from that, celebrating the small wins that we're getting through this government, what's kind of your encouragement that you'd offer to other small businesses who are having it tough, man? Because I have quite a few friends who are having it tough in business, and it's affecting a lot of their mental health, mental well-being. What's your encouragement that you give to?
I am just as tight I am struggling just as much. Whether you can tell or you can't tell, that's all up to perspective. Give it your best. I'm giving it my best. Like, I'm fucking going hard at it. I'm on all social platforms, right? I'm a very private guy that's become quite public now. Putting myself out there. I'm on TikTok, fucking live streaming. I'm one of the first places, I think, in New Zealand to live stream selling food, you know. And it is complete new technology to me. 35, man, you know. I turn 35 tomorrow.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Early happy birthday.
Early happy birthday. So give it your best shot, you know. The harsh reality is business has just been a bit too easy for too long. 5 years ago, 6 years ago, you could open a random ass fucking little coffee shop in town somewhere, just suck, and you'd be alright. You'd be making money. 10 years ago, you could open a little cafe, a little bakery, a little whatever, and just be alright, and you'd be busy. Yeah, you're gonna have to be good now. Yeah, it's just what it is. And I'm still trying to figure it out.
I wanted to get into that, your social media hustle. That's kind of like a grind for you right now. I see you be posting about it. And it's so crack up because our team is kind of like going through that umbrella as well. I'm like, everyone has to do posts. I don't care who you are, you got to do posts. So we're kind of like trying to figure out how has that been for you and your team, because it's happening. It's needed.
I recognized, well, it started when I was at the UFC. I was at the Sydney UFC. I was watching Izzy and Strickland fight, and I was next to some big American guys. And there's this old fella. He really inspired me. He was way older than me, and he whipped his phone out, and he was like doing content. He was like live, and I could tell he was wildly more successful than me. And up until that point, I was really reserved, really private. I didn't like put myself out there, and I was like, yeah, nah. You know, influencers, nah, I'm better than that, you know? I'm better than that. And then it was that moment, this is calling myself out. I was like, holy shit, I think I'm insecure. Like, it's ego. Yeah. Like, this old guy is like way more successful than me, right? And game recognizes game. I know this guy's like on another level, right? Yeah. And he's like going live, right? And I was like, shit. He may be 20 years older than me, but I'm the old guy here. I'm the judgmental. I'm the old guy that's got a small, closed mind. I'm like, damn. Came back to Auckland, and I was like, fuck, I need to do this attention thing. And I fucking wish I did it earlier.
Right.
There were periods in my life that was really content worthy, and I just kept it, like, just unseen. But I guess I got the fruits of it in terms of, like, results, but I could have documented it. I could have put it online and stuff, yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, reflecting back on that time, what's it like for you now?
I still suck. It's been a lot of practice. I've actually put out hundreds of videos.
Yeah,
Just under 300 videos in the last 7 months.
Yeah.
300 reels. I would have done God knows how many live streams. Starting to get a bit of traction now. It's too slow, but yeah, the work effort is there. The effort is there. I got this one mate, right? He started about the same time as me. I think 2 months after me. He's on like 60, 70K followers. Yeah. I'm like, fuck you, Phil. I saw him this morning. I'm like, God damn it, Phil. He's a beautiful, like, Asian guy. He's like really muscly, and he's like, he does like a lot of the fitness stuff. And I'm like, yeah, fair enough. He's like, you're always naked. No, I get it. Yeah, you're beautiful. I get it. Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. If it makes you feel better, one of our shows, most watched Samoan show right now, gets us monetary money off YouTube.
Really?
Took us about 2.5 years to grow before it popped. When it started, only 2 people were watching, and it was probably me and my boss and the person who was doing the live stream. We broke a story literally last year, and now it's like the most watched show.
Really?
2.5 years of fucking 2 to 3 viewers.
Yeah, grind.
And we could have quit at any point. We could have been like, it's not going to work. And then broke a story. Boom. Now everyone just watches them. Engagement is crazy. Community is crazy. People are donating US money. So keep it up, man.
Really?
Yeah. Keep it up. But live stream is where it's at.
Live stream, eh?
Yeah. I reckon.
I've never streamed YouTube before. Is
Yeah,
that
you
good?
can live stream on YouTube.
Is
Yeah,
it good?
pretty good.
What's your favorite Facebook stream?
For us, yeah, Facebook and YouTube
Stream.
is streaming would be good. Yeah.
And when you stream on Facebook, is it does it stream to your existing followers or just randoms?
Your existing followers and all of their followers. So like the reach.
Mostly New Zealand, Australia. Mostly
New Zealand, Australia, and America.
America.
But it'll be like, if it was like our top, it'll be New Zealand, America, Australia, and then the Pacific Islands.
Interesting.
Yeah, but it's crazy. And I see like people in China, they just go live and they sell products. You seen that?
The highest grossing Chinese streamer, I think, did like $10 million in like sales in an hour.
Yeah. Literally just standing there.
What's your hourly rate? 10 million US. 10 million US.
Just got to work 1 hour a day and they're sussed.
Yeah, damn, they're fucking good, yeah.
The social media hustle is, thinking from a perspective of someone who hasn't started yet. It's scary. You're like, I'm scared to be judged. People are going to say this about me. Yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
But like you said, that comes from a place of ego most of the time.
Yeah.
A place of fear. What would kind of like to someone in that position, your word of encouragement to someone who's wanting to start, but they're still stuck in that fear?
To break that fear, I bought a Kmart tripod, set myself up at Westfield Newmarket in the mall, and I talked to myself for hours in front of hundreds and thousands of people walking past. And I just confronted all of that. People just judging, looking at me funny, being negative. That's what I did. That's literally what I did. Yeah.
You put yourself there, eh?
I just fucking give it to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Call me a loser.
Yeah.
Go for it. Go
Yeah.
for gold. Yeah.
Love that. You threw yourself in the deep end. Quickest way to learn how to swim.
Yeah. I can still feel that. It was a good opportunity to really grow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get some thick skin,
What is like your biggest dream, or what you want to achieve, and you'll be like, I'm good to go now. I've achieved what I came here to achieve. Do you ever think like that?
No.
Why don't you think like that?
There is no limits to what I can achieve. Yeah. Both fortunately and unfortunately, the answer is always more. I have very rarely celebrated a win, and immediately after a win, it's like, oh, what is the next level? And I'm very content with this mindset. I'm very happy with it. It's fine. It's very fulfilling. I have hundreds and thousands of dreams. There's a lot of things I want to do in this life. But right now, my core priority is to make sure that my family is okay. It is a recession. Yeah. So I'm just make sure the family well-being is okay. Because a lot of things I do, business and whatever it may be, it's I'm very self-aware. It's like, how much is it for family? Like, it's not. Once you reach a certain point, it's like, it's selfish. I know it's selfish. Yeah.
Talking about that,
Yes.
I want to get into that, your journey into fatherhood.
Yes.
And I think, I'm not trying to be an elitist here, but I think once you have a kid, I have a girl myself. She's 6.
Wow. Congratulations.
And yeah, she is everything to me.
Yes.
But when I had her, my mind just switched. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Something happened. I don't know what it was. But I was just like, I went from being extremely immature, just wasting my time, not really caring about what I'm going to do, what direction I'm going to lead my life into. Once I had her, something just switched and I was like, I got to do something. I don't know what it is at this point, but I got to do something. And so I started on this journey, this business journey, and it's grown. For you, did you have that moment when you had your kid? Was that a moment of realization? And how has it been being a parent?
You think you have a kid and you're going to teach him everything in the world and whatnot, but your kid teaches you way more than I think you teach your kid. I've been able to learn so much just watching my daughter grow, and it's made me question anything and everything that I once did and I do today. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, sure.
Do you have good parents?
love your mum and dad.
You have good parents,
Like
eh?
right now, or
Yeah,
as an
like,
upbringing?
Just you have
Okay.
good parents. General question.
I think growing up, to be honest, I didn't get the love and care that I needed growing up from my parents.
Yeah.
My parents were working. Were they good people? Yes.
Yeah.
Because they installed good principles. And it was always about principles. If we didn't have food, they would install, no, this is what it means to be a good person. But they weren't around in regards to like, you know, teaching me these little things or being there at school recitals, sports days.
They were out working, right?
They were out working.
Yeah, they weren't like on the piss or anything.
No. So they were good in that sense. Today, they're the greatest people. I love them. They're full of wisdom.
Do you know why one day it switched in you when you had your kid?
No.
It's because all the work your parents had done up until this point in your life made you a good person.
I love that.
I'm telling you right now, 100%.
Yeah.
I can straight away tell you have good parents, even though I asked you. They're good people.
Yeah.
Because all that effort they put into you, that's why it was so easy after you had a kid, just click and switch. You're like, fuck, I need to get my shit together. You have to be thankful of your parents. They did many things in ways that we cannot comprehend.
Yeah.
Trust me. Yeah.
No, I never thought of it that way. To be honest, to this day, I was trying to figure out because, like, I don't know how I've managed to survive, you know? But I know my parents were always big on principles above anything else. So, yeah, it's been a ride. It's been a journey.
Mm-hmm.
What about yourself? What was it like? Were your parents, because I know in other podcasts you mentioned, you know, your parents are very hardworking as well.
And very hard on me. Very hard on me.
As in, like, you have to be the best.
Well, they don't say that, but expectations are extremely high. And I think a lot of Asian kids and a lot of kids in general, they don't know how to interpret that and they don't know how to comprehend that. They get bitter and they go, oh, my mum don't love me for who I am and that kind of stuff. And yeah, I lucky me that I took it positively and I ran with it and I kept developing myself. Very fortunate. My parents have very high standards for me specifically. Yeah. And I never look at them negatively. Let's say I have a big win. My mum's like, oh, yeah, but look here, uncle. Yeah, I could be all sour about it. Yeah, I'm like, oh, fuck, can't you just celebrate for me for once, you know? But no, I'm not like that.
Yeah.
I'm very aware that my mum's aware
that
I can go the next level. And it's very easy for her to be like, oh, thank you. Like, well done, Shane. Big hug, right? And for her to just bask in it, right? But that's for her. That's to feel good herself, right?
Right.
She's put feeling good herself as a lower priority, and she's chosen. You know what? I'm gonna throw Shane a bit more salt into the wound and see how high he can go. So she's chosen my growth over her like just joy. Right?
Yeah.
I've really thought about these things. Really thought about these things. Yeah. Our parents are way more intelligent than we think.
For sure. Yeah. And just processing this because like in the work that we do here at Bluwave, I often interact with a lot of youth who are traumatized by experiences with their parents, and I like what you shared there and understanding that our parents did the best that they could at their time and they're more intelligent than we think they are. And a lot of the times, Pacific youth are still healing from that trauma that they've experienced or things that they haven't seen, they can't see outside of themselves. So thank you for sharing that.
There's real trauma.
Yeah.
Like if you grow up in like in a family household where like there's gang affiliation, that's different. That's real.
For sure. Yeah.
But then there's like, like go to school, stop fucking around, right? That's not trauma. That's fact. Yeah.
People see that as trauma. Like, you have to go and succeed here and do this. Like, they see that as trauma.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's similar in the like you just mentioned that about like Chinese community, like hating their parents for having high expectations. But like I believe in the bigotry of soft expectations. When you set the bigotry of low expectations. When you set low standards for people, they're gonna achieve. low.
Yeah, and I think it's in my culture, you raise boys and girls differently. Like, so with our boys, we kind of like just kick them to the ground and like we raise them hard, right? You know, like nothing, give you nothing, you know, and we're tough on our boys, right? And that's how I'm going to raise my son. I don't have a son, but that's how I'm going to raise my son. I don't give him anything, you know. I'm going to be really hard on my son. But then to our daughters, we raise them like princesses. We set that standard high. Yeah, we are, and we shower them with attention and to some degree maybe like a bit of privilege here and there. But we set that standard high, and that's how Asians do it. And it's worked very well in my culture.
Yeah, and in society too.
Yes, in society. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Shane, for coming on to Breaking Waves. Is there any last things you want to share with our audience?
No.
Yeah?
Very interesting.
Yeah.
You got to ask me some different questions today. Yeah, no, thank you very much.
Yeah. And thank you for sharing your wealth of wisdom. I find it very interesting the way you answer. Honestly, it feels like I'm talking to Bruce Lee. Have you watched Bruce Lee's interviews? They like ask a question, they're like, and then he says something to widen the perspective.
I really think about it. I really think about it.
Yeah.
I'm really listening. Yeah. I really listen.
For sure. And honestly, just thank you for coming onto our show, first of all, giving us the time, because I know you're a very busy person. Time is important.
Yes.
And yeah, we just want to thank you so much.